Welcome back to my channel. The name of this channel is called Let's Get Uncomfortable with Ariel. I am Ariel, if you didn't guess. The reason why this channel is called Let's Get Uncomfortable with Ariel is because we discuss topics of domestic violence. So whether it's physical abuse, mental abuse, emotional abuse, or verbal abuse. So if you guys have been in a relationship like this before, or if you guys are currently in a relationship like this now, write in, let's discuss the topics. lguncomfortable@gmail.com, short for let's get uncomfortable@gmail.com. I'm gonna dive right in today, guys. I got an email. This email is called Domestic Violence. I want to let you know that you're doing an amazing job with your YouTube channel. I literally watched all your videos in a day, and I want to let you know this is the first time I feel a connection and the support from a stranger over a channel. I myself have been wanting to put my story out there because I also feel in my heart that I could help many women and men, but I fear failure and have not found the courage to do so. And maybe it's not the time to open up, as I'm still broken and healing. I'm still fighting the urge of falling back into the same cycle. I'm a single mom of 3 now. I have 2 kids, ages 10 and 9 with my previous relationship, and a 1-year-old son with my most recent relationship. I work full-time as a paralegal and I attend college. This is my story. Today would have been my anniversary with my boyfriend/ex. My toxic, abusive relationship started exactly 4 years ago. I was living in Florida and decided to go out to a bar. That night, the most gorgeous, perfect man approached me, and there was an instant attraction and connection. He was the sweetest, most charming man I had ever met in my life. He was so perfect in my eyes. I loved everything about him from head to toes. Everything happened so quick. That night, after the bar, we took a walk to the beach until sunrise. The night was like a dream. Everything seemed too good to be true. A week later, after I met him, we decided to go out again. Nothing was official, but we were sure acting like we were together, and it was serious. Throughout the night, I noticed different women approaching. He would push them away, of course, and wouldn't acknowledge them. However, later in the night, he acted strange and literally started a fight for no reason, and he then told me to leave. I remember crying all the way home. He then went MIA for 2 days. After 2 days, he made some BS excuses to why he wasn't picking up my calls or why he made no attempt to call me back. That was a red flag, and I knew better. But honestly, I was so blinded by what I was feeling that I believed everything he said. I then decided to move back home and asked if he wanted to come with me. I told him I wanted to move closer to my family and his father wouldn't be far. I honestly didn't think he would even consider moving, but he did. I paid for everything. I was so happy. I was the happiest woman on earth. I couldn't believe he was moving with me. He said he loved me and wanted everything with me, and he was so good to my kids. He left his car behind because he didn't have money to ship it. So when we moved back, we had 1 car, which was my car. I obviously found a job first. I paid to get a new apartment. And when I was working, I let him keep my car. He would take me to work and pick me up. For months, he didn't work, and he said he was riding around town to get familiar. I would work, then go home, cook for us, have a nice clean house, do his laundry. I would pay the bills. He smokes marijuana, so I would buy him all the marijuana he needed, clothes, shoes, and all. He started to act different. He started to keep his phone from me, added a password. He would find excuses to leave. I would let him keep my car. I would try to do anything to keep him happy. It got to the point where I felt like I was begging him to stay, and we had only been living together for about a month. I had this weird feeling while at work, and of course he had my car. He wasn't answering his phone, and it was just a woman intuition, so I called my sister and asked her to give me a ride home. The apartment door was a little cracked, and I sneaked in quietly just to find him jacking off to a girl he was FaceTiming with. I was in shock. I did not know how to react. I kicked him out and began to throw his stuff outside. When I walked back in from throwing his stuff, I felt a punch to the face. I remember falling and then running out to my sister's car. She called the cops. He got away, of course, and I did not write a report or even tell the cops he had hit me. My sister was so upset. I was so heartbroken and hurt. I didn't know what was hurting me more, the physical abuse or me finding him on the phone with another woman. He left with his dad. He then, of course, begged forgiveness and asked that I take him back. I loved him and wanted to spend the rest of my life with him and wanted to make things work out, so I took him back. He was good for a couple of months. I then found out I'm pregnant in December and I'm super happy. But one day he leaves to the store like always and forgets his phone. His phone rings and I pick it up and it was another woman. I couldn't believe I was being played again. I decided to abort because I was so sure I was going to leave him. That did not happen. He begged forgiveness and I took him back. But the cheating never stopped. The beating never stopped. The name calling never stopped. He fucked me up mentally, physically, and emotionally. I caught him cheating. He blamed everything on me. He called me insecure and said I was just a crazy bitch. He beat me down so bad, sent me to the hospital, cheated on me. I can't even count with my own fingers how many times. He sexually assaulted, called me a whore, a bitch in front of my kids, started to verbally abuse my kids. He was a never-ending cycle. I was too skinny for him, so I tried to gain weight and I just couldn't. My hair was too short for him, so I grew it out. My boobs were too small, so I had them done, and it was still not pretty or good enough for him. He literally left me no choice but to call 911 a couple of times because my life was in danger. But to be honest, I felt guilty every time I called the cops and got him arrested. I felt like a bad woman. He would say that I'm not a real bitch. He threatened to go find a real bitch many times. According to him, it's my fault. He has a criminal record, of course, and he couldn't get a job. He also started to get heavily high on Xanax, and other times it was cocaine. I turned to a different person. I lost my family, my friends. I almost lost my job. I honestly lost myself. I was fighting, acting out of character, wanting to fight women who didn't owe me anything. I started to act more like him. I became defensive and abusive because I had been fighting for 4 years. I did not want to let him go, and I'm still fighting that. I was hanging on to hope. Ariel, I'm broken. Many times I wish he would come back and beg and get on his knees and ask me for forgiveness. We now have a 1-year-old son, which he does nothing for him. I many times would shake him and tell him to see what is in front of him. I cried and begged that he changed. I'm mentally fucked up and I feel crazy. I feel obsessed. I feel like I'm not good enough. I feel like I gave up on him. I beat myself up for calling the cops. It's been 2 months since I've seen him. I have recording of him, videos of the abuse, of which I replay in order to remind myself why I deserve better and to remind me that he's no good. I don't understand why I still want to fight for him if he's not fighting for us and he didn't want to change. I'm lost and broken and I feel so sick every day. Everything reminds me of him, music, places, and foods, and our son. He cheated on me through my whole pregnancy. I cry and I scream every time I hurt and I think about him. Anyways, I shortened my story because it's too long. The abuse was almost every day, and it got worse every day that went by. This is by far the hardest thing I've ever faced, and it almost took my life. I'm learning how to relive again without him, but it's not easy. I don't find men attractive but him. I don't want to talk to any man but him. I'm fighting these demons daily. I know he's not good, and I'd be making the biggest mistake if I text him. I literally tell myself 2 months have gone by. I can go another day without knowing or talking to him. But know that if anything ever made me feel better and like there is a light at the end of the tunnel, it's your videos, and for that I thank you so much. First and foremost, I just want to thank you for emailing in. And to be completely honest, when I was reading that email, when I first received it, it really brought me back. At the root of all of this and at the root of being in an abusive relationship, it really all comes down to lack of self-confidence. These people are never-ending cycles, and that was spot on. It is a never-ending cycle, and it's going to continue to be a never-ending cycle, a never-ending negative cycle as long as you allow it to be that. Another thing that kind of stood out to me in this video was when you said that you knew better. So, even though in my previous videos I said that I remember, my mom and my dad fighting when I was growing up, and I wasn't sure if that was the reason why, I also remember that my mom and my dad always taught me better. And I always remember in the back of my head when I was in this relationship that I knew better. I just want to let you know that your guys' stories have so much power, and it takes a lot of courage and a lot of strength to share your stories. I am focusing more on finding your self-confidence. So I'm gonna do my best to get some better content. And when I say better, I mean content that will help you be more confident in yourself. Because I feel like when you find your self-confidence, you're able to find your true self again. And when you're able to find your true self again, that's when things will really start getting better, and it will ultimately be easier for you to leave this kind of relationship. I hope that you are able to really just recognize that you are worth so much more than this situation. Even if you have had a lapse in judgment and you're back with this individual, I'm happy that you have found my videos. The important thing is that you're safe and that you're okay. But what I'm going to challenge you to do is to do something that makes you happy. Do something, and instead of you reminding, watching a video of him being abusive towards you, I challenge you to listen to uplifting music. I love any kind of music that is positive and uplifting, and I challenge you to do that. Go and listen to Lizzo's whole album, Coconut Oil. It's so positive, so empowering, so uplifting. So I'm telling you right now, you deserve better. You're worth more. I know that you feel like you don't want to be with anyone else, and you don't have to think about being with anyone else right now. You don't have to worry about any of that. I know that everything is going to remind you of him. It's normal. That's fine. That's a part of moving on. But what I'm going to tell you is that you deserve more. And that relationship, I pray that you are able to leave it in the past and move on and never have to be reminded of that ever again. But I do want to let you know it's going to take time. So thank you for writing in. Thank you for being open. Thank you for being honest. If you like this video, press the like button. If you dislike this video, press the dislike button. I look forward to seeing you guys next time. Thanks for watching.